Conversion tracking. In this section of the course, I'm going to go through the basics of conversion tracking. We're going to look at the benefits of conversion tracking, and we're also going to look at the two main types of conversions you can use. And of course, I'm going to show you how you can set up conversion tracking for both form submissions and to track phone calls. This is a really important section of the course. Tracking your conversions is going to allow you to see just exactly how profitable your Google campaigns actually are. Let's get straight into it. Conversion tracking. So first things first, what is a conversion? A conversion is simply any action that is valuable to you that any customer can take on your website. Now, a lot of people automatically assume that conversions can only be sales and purchases. However, that's actually wrong. A conversion can be anything that is valuable to you and your business. So that could be things like sales, phone calls, form submissions, and so on. And conversions are super valuable as they let you know how effective your ads are in regards to reaching your goals and targets. Whether that is generating a sale for every $50 spent or acquiring a new client for every $100 spent. If you don't track conversions, you'll literally have no idea on how effective your ads are. So what are the main benefits of tracking conversions? Well, there's really two main benefits, and before we get into them, let's just clarify the main goal of running Google Ads in the first place. The main goal for everyone who's running Google Ads should be to generate more revenue and more money. Whether you're running ads to a free ebook or a free sign up, it doesn't really matter as you're most likely trying to convert that person to buy one of your products later on down the line from an email campaign. So the ultimate goal of your ad is still to generate more revenue and business. So the first benefit of tracking conversions is it allows you to boost your ROI. And for those who don't know, ROI stands for return on investment. Now you may be sitting there and thinking, well, my business was making $1,000 per month before I ran any ads. I'm now spending $250 on ads every month, and now my business makes $2,000 every month. So I'm actually profitable and I'm making an extra $750 every single month. Yes, that's correct, but you don't know exactly where that extra $750 is being generated from. So if you wanted to scale that up in the future, you literally have no idea where to start. It would all be guesswork. And when you're investing your hard-earned money into Google Ads, you want to remove any element of guesswork to ensure your money is spent most efficiently. When you have conversion tracking set up, you can see exactly what time of the day your sales are being generated, which ads are performing the best, which actually leads on to my second point. Conversion tracking allows you to see the most important metrics and will give you all the information you require for when you want to optimize your account or simply scale up things to a whole nother level. You can view your dashboard and very easily see what keywords are performing the best in terms of conversions and not CPCs, as often you'll find the keywords that have the cheapest CPCs, so the cheapest cost per clicks, and the highest click-through rates are not always the keywords that are generating the most conversions. So whilst your CPC and your CTR data looks good, those keywords aren't actually making you any money. Now, when you have conversion tracking set up, you'll know exactly the specific components of your ad campaign which is generating the profit, whether that's the keywords, the match types, the ads, the time of the day, which is going to make your life so much more easier and will allow you to optimize your account in the most effective and smartest way possible. So now we've gone through exactly what a conversion is and the benefits of conversions. In the next video, I'm going to go through the two main types of conversions you can use. I'll see you there. The two main types of conversions you can use. So there's more than two different types of conversions you can use in Google Ads. However, 99% of the time, these are the two you are going to use. So the first type of conversion you can use is what we call website conversions. Now, this can include anything from a purchase or a sale. So someone buying a product from your e-commerce website. We can have a sign up. So someone signing up for a newsletter, for example. We can also have a lead, which would basically be someone filling in a form on your website. And lastly, we can track a conversion from a view of a key page, such as your pricing page, for example. You might have some data that says you typically convert 25% of users who view your pricing page, so tracking views on that particular page is going to be an important metric to your business. So now we've gone through the first type of conversions, let's look at some things you need to bear in mind when it comes to setting up these conversions, which I'm going to show you how to do later on in the course. So the first thing to bear in mind is pretty straightforward. You need to have a website to set up these conversions, which is pretty obvious. And you also need the ability to edit the code on your website. Now, don't worry about this as it's nowhere near as complicated as you think. A lot of people actually get spooked out when they hear the word code, but if you're using any CMS such as WordPress, Squarespace, Duda, Unbound, or literally any other CMS, this is going to be pretty straightforward. Now, CMS, for those who don't know, stands for Content Management System, which basically means you're not using a site which is completely coded from scratch. Now, when it comes to editing the code on your website, do not worry as I'm going to go through this in a live walkthrough like I've done for every other section of this course. So you can literally watch over my shoulder and see exactly how you apply this code to your website so you can track conversions. The next thing to note is that the conversion tag is placed on the individual page that signifies a conversion. Don't worry about what a tag is for now, as I'm going to cover that very shortly, but the main thing to understand is that the tag has to be placed on the page that signifies a conversion. For example, when you make a purchase online, once you finish placing your order, you are going to land on either a thank you page or an order confirmation page. Now, it's very likely that on this order confirmation page, there is going to be a pixel which is going to fire, which is going to let Google Ads know that a sale has been made, i.e. a conversion, and as a result, it will log that conversion down in your Google Ads account. Now, that is only if the click originated from a Google ad in the first place. The conversion tag would only be on the order confirmation page and not the page that you was viewing the product, as that page does not signify a conversion. For example, if you had the conversion tag on your homepage on your website, then anytime someone visits your homepage, this is going to be marked down as a conversion in your ads account and completely skew all your data and make it really hard when it comes to boosting ROI. If you are using forms for conversions, then you need to make sure you redirect the user to a thank you page. It needs to be a unique page that only the users who completed that action would see. I can't stress enough how important that is. It is super important. Some forms use what we call inline submissions, where once the form is filled in, the button that says submit will simply change to thank you for submitting an inquiry or something along the lines of that. These type of forms will not work and will not be able to track conversions in the way that we're going to show you in this course, which is the easiest and the most reliable way. You need to configure your forms to redirect users to a confirmation or a thank you page once that action has been completed. That is super important. And just as a pro tip, if you have multiple forms on your website, then I would highly recommend you set up different thank you pages to keep all your data organized in your Google Ads account. This will allow you to see exactly what forms in particular are generating the conversions from your website. The second type of conversions is what we call phone call conversions. Now, not all businesses operate on sales and form submissions. A lot of them generate and rely on phone calls. And as a business, if we are running Google Ads, we want to be able to track how many we are generating from the ads we're running. So there are a few different ways we're able to track calls from ads. The first is calls from ads, which are actual calls from the ads themselves. If you remember what we covered in the last section of the course in ad extensions, you can actually add an ad extension to your ad. So if someone sees your ad and does not click the ad, but sees your number from the call extension and then calls it, Google can track that. So how does Google do that? It's done by using a Google forwarding number, which is basically a separate number that Google gives you, which displays on the ad, and when it's dialed, it will forward the call onto your actual office number or whatever number you choose. You can also track calls when you use call-only campaigns. So this is when you set up Google search campaigns specifically for mobile devices. And the main conversion action is when someone clicks your ad, which is going to trigger the phone call feature on the mobile device the person is using. With call-only ads, there is no option to send the user to a website. It's literally just phone calls. These typically work best when bidding on emergency keywords such as emergency plumber, and don't worry, I'll show you exactly how to set up these call-only campaigns later on in this section of the course. Okay, the more complex way of tracking phone calls are calls to a number on your site. So what happens if someone clicks your ad, lands on your website, and then gives your number a call? Well, as that's your personal number, Google has no way whatsoever of knowing how many calls you've generated. So to track phone calls this way, you need to use what we call a DNI, which stands for Dynamic Number Insertion. which basically means when someone lands on your website after clicking an ad, they will see a different number to someone who lands on your website through another channel, such as social media or organically. This number is also going to be a forwarding number, which will allow Google to track the amount of phone calls generated. Now, setting this up is a little more complicated and requires you adding a tag to your website along with some JavaScript code, which can be quite complex. So for that purpose, we won't cover that in this course, as this course is primarily aimed at beginners. However, I still wanted to explain how it works to give you a strong foundational understanding. Now, not everyone is a fan of dynamic number insertions, as a lot of companies have branded numbers, and changing the number on their website can really affect the brand awareness and the brand identity. For those particular companies, people use more advanced solutions such as CallRail, Dialog Tech, and so on. But DNI from Google is free and pretty much does a good job. The last method you can use to track phone calls is clicks on a number on your website. Now, this is only applicable to mobile devices. A lot of the time, a phone number is going to be clickable on a mobile device, and once it's clicked, it will trigger the call feature on your phone. Google can track this click just by adding a certain type of phone call conversion to your site. Now, it's important to note that it is not a forwarding number, it's your standard number. And to be honest, this one is not really common. The most common types of conversions you're going to use for phone calls is going to be the first two types, which is call from ads and calls a number on your website. So now we've gone through the two main types of conversions you can use on your website, it's time to head over to our Google Ads account and show you how to actually set these up. I'll see you in the next video. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up conversion tracking to track conversions from form submissions. So to do so, all you need to do is go into your Google Ads account, go to the right hand side of the screen and click Tools and Settings, and then under the tab that says Measurement, you want to go ahead and click Conversions. This is now going to take you to the page where you set up, edit and delete all your conversions you configure in your Google Ads account. So once you're on this page, what you want to do is go ahead and click the blue plus icon. And this is now where we select what type of conversion we'd like to create. And this is a section where we're going to select what type of conversion we'd like to create. So in our instance, as it's going to be a form submission, it's going to be website. So track actions on your website. You can see the text right there. As soon as I hover over it, it gives you a list of website conversions such as online sales, link clicks, page views and signups. So this is the one for us. So let's go ahead and give this a click. On this page, we're going to want to create the conversion action for our website. So the first option is category. Select the action you'd like to track. So if you click the drop down menu, you can see we have multiple options. Do we want to track a sale? If so, is it a purchase, add to cart, begin checkout, subscribe, and so on? However, like I said, in this case scenario, we're going to be tracking a form submission. So in this case, we're going to want to go for the one under leads category and go for this option right here, submit lead form. When someone expresses an interest in your business by filling out a form you provide them. So let's go ahead and click submit lead form. And then for the value, this is where you determine how much this conversion is worth to your business. Now, when it comes to determining how much conversion is worth to your business, it's going to be a little more difficult when it comes to form submissions, as if you own an e-commerce store and you sell a product for $50 and the product sells for $50, then obviously the value of that conversion to you is worth $50. However, when it comes to form submissions, we need to look at things in a different perspective. So let's imagine all the data you have shows you that you convert 1 in 10 customers, and the average customer spends $1,000 with your business. This would mean that each conversion is worth $100, as you convert 1 in 10 and the one person you do convert spends $1,000. So in this instance, you could go for use the same value and simply put in the correct currency, whether it's USD or pounds. So let's go for US dollars and then simply put in $100 like so. Now that is telling Google that every time someone submits a conversion, that is worth $100 to you. The second option Google gives you is use different values for each conversion, which is a little bit more complicated and involves adding dynamic code to your website. It's not really used that often in the real world, so we're going to skip option 2. And the third option is what I recommend if you don't know the value of each conversion. So if you have no idea how much each conversion is worth to you, just go for this one, and Google say it's actually not recommended. Just completely ignore that. You're far better off not using any values if you don't know the data on your conversion value. The next option we have below comes under count. So select how many conversions to count per click or interaction. So this is pretty straightforward. If you run an e-commerce store, you're going to want to go for the top option, count every transaction as a unique conversion, because if someone buys 5 products from your e-commerce website, then that should count as 5 conversions. However, if you don't operate an e-commerce store and you want to collect form submissions, maybe you're a service-based business, then you're going to want to go for the second option, which says 1. Which means if one user submits 5 different forms, this is going to count as 1 conversion. The reason why you want to use 1 over every is because when it comes to leads, typically the first interaction is the most valuable, and you can see that is actually what Google says here as well. The next option Google provides you with is your click-through conversion window. So this is how long Google will give the user before they count it as a conversion. So if someone clicks your ad, lands on your website and submits a form on the 28th day, if you have 30 days selected, then that will still count as a conversion on the 28th day. So as you can imagine, the click-through conversion window is going to be dependent on what you want to select for your business. So 9 times out of 10, most businesses go for 30 days, and that is what I do across every campaign. If you are working with clients, then it's definitely worthwhile asking the client, how long does it take for them to typically attract a new customer? Could it be 60 days? Could it be 90 days? If it is indeed 90 days, then you want to make sure you reflect that in the conversion tracking. So for now, I'm going to leave mine at 30 days. The view through conversion window, I always leave at 1 day. I never really change that, and you probably don't have to change that either. Include in conversions, always leave this ticked and make sure it says yes. This basically means when you have a conversion tracked, it's going to show it in your overview dashboard. Attribution model, I always leave as last click as well. So once you set up your conversion settings, go ahead and click create and continue. This will now take you to a page where you need to add the Google tag, the one we just created, over onto our website so Google can track all the data. So we have 3 different options. The first is install the tag yourself. The second is email the tag to someone on your team, maybe your developer. And the third is use Google Tag Manager. So let's go for the first option, install the tag yourself. So let's go ahead and give this a click. And as you will see, Google will give you some information and instructions on how you can add this tag to your website. So one really important thing to note is that when you add this code to your website, which is actually this code right down here, you know this is a conversion tag as it has the word conversion in it. You also need to add your global site tag to your website. Now, your global site tag needs to be on every single page of your website. Now, it's really important to note that if you already have Google Analytics set up and you have the code on your website, then you basically already have the global site tag. So if that is the case, then you want to go ahead and go for the second option and just add the event snippet on your website. However, if you don't have any global site tags on your website, then ensure you have the top option selected and simply copy all of this code and add it to the head section on your website like Google shows you. So let me head over to one of my websites and I'll show you exactly how you do that now. Now do bear in mind, for the purpose of this training course, we were showing you how to set up and run ads to HSD online. However, as I don't own this website, I obviously don't have access to the backend, so I won't be able to add the code to this website. However, no worries, as I'll show you exactly the same process of what you would do just over on one of the websites that I own called Level Finish. So this is the website I'm going to use when it comes to adding the Google tags. So the first thing I'm going to do is go back over to my Google Ads account and simply copy all of my global site tag code, then do a Control C or Command C if you're on a MacBook, go back to my Level Finish website. Now I'm going to go into the backend. So this website is built on WordPress. So the process I'm showing you now is applicable to WordPress websites. However, if your website is built on Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, you can easily go over to Google and just type in how to install Global Tag Manager on Wix or replace it by Weebly or Squarespace, and there'll be plenty of instructions. It's pretty straightforward, but essentially all you need to do is add the code into the head section of your website. So when you're using a WordPress CMS, you can actually download this plugin or install this plugin, I should say. It's called Insert Headers and Footers. This allows you to add code into the head section or the footer section of your website without really seeing any code whatsoever. So it's a really handy plugin. So once you have this plugin installed on your website and it's active, what you need to do is go over to Settings and then go to Insert Headers and Footers. And in the header section at the top, so scripts in header, what you want to do is simply paste in this new code. So let me scroll down right to the bottom and then paste in this new global site tag code like so. Do bear in mind, I obviously already have my own global site tag from Google Analytics, as I already had that set up on this website. However, like I said, I want to show the whole process from scratch, just in case no one has Google Analytics set up. So once you've added that in the header, what you want to do is scroll down and click save. And then go back to your Google Ads account, and you can see we've now done step 1. So the next step to do is copy the conversion code onto the page that signifies a conversion. So let me go ahead and copy this conversion code right here. And now go back to level finish. Let's view our main website. Let's just take the contact page for example, as we have a form submission on this page. You can see it simply says get in touch and it has a contact form below. Now remember, when it comes to adding your conversion tag code, you want to add it to the page which signifies a conversion. So if I was to go ahead and add this code to this page, it's going to do more harm than good, as anytime someone views my contact page, it's going to mark it down as a conversion, which as we both know isn't actually a conversion. So the page I want to add the code to is going to be the confirmation page. However, before I add the code to this page, I just wanted to go over this Google Chrome extension. It's called Google Tag Assistant. So you'll definitely want to go and get this installed in your Google Chrome browser. And basically what it does, it shows you all the Google tags that you have on your website. So for example, I've already added the global site tag. So if I go to my contact page and then click the icon extension, which is this part right here, you can see we actually have 5 tags on this page in total, and the top 2, the ones that end in 574, is going to be the tag we just added. I know it's a top tag that ends in 574 because if we go back to our Google Ads account, you can see it's a tag right here, ends in 574. So it's very easy to tie things up and actually just check the work you're doing and make sure it's actually reflected on your website. So we have 5 tags in total. So now remember, like I said, what we want to do is add the conversion tag on the confirmation page. So to get the confirmation page URL, let me go ahead and fill in this form. So let's put in name Simon, email simon@gmail.com, message, hello, hi, nice website, that will do, blah, blah, blah. That will do for now, and then click send. And as you can see, the form is going to redirect me to this confirmation page. Thank you for submitting your inquiry. A member of our team will get back to you within 24 hours, and this is a confirmation URL. So what I want to do is simply add that conversion code over onto this URL. So to do so, I'm going to click edit page. Now this is going to be the same process simply across any CMS, and the way you add the code over to this website is by simply adding a raw HTML block. So if I go to front end editor, so I'm using a page builder called WP Bakery, so WordPress Bakery. It doesn't really matter what page builder you are using. All you need to do is add a raw HTML block. So to do so, I'm going to go ahead and click the plus icon and search. I'm going to put in HTML. And as you can see, I have the option right here, raw HTML. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a click. And in this block, I'm simply going to replace what we have in there at present and replace it with the Google conversion tag code. So once I've done that, I'm going to click save, close the box, and as you can see, it actually doesn't display any text. And that is correct. It's simply just something you have in the back end of your website. I'm going to go ahead and click update and then simply refresh the page just to make sure our changes have actually come through live to our website. And now if we go ahead back to the Tag Assistant Chrome extension, you can see we now have 6 tags on this page in total, and we have a new one right here, Google Ads Conversion Tracking. So this is confirmation that we have indeed added the conversion tag to our website successfully. And just to further confirm that we have done it correctly, we can actually go back into our site, so the backend editor, and if I was to remove that HTML block, then that number from 6 would go down to 5. So let me remove the HTML block like so. So let's delete the code, click update, make sure our changes are now live. Let's view the new page. Let's view the URL and then go over to the Tag Assistant. And as you can see, we now have 5 tags on this page, and the one that is missing is the conversion tag, which is the one we've just deleted. So what I'm going to do is simply fast forward this video and add the code back to the website and then move on to the next step in our Google Ads account. So I've now re-added the code back to my website. So if I go back to my Google conversion setup in the Google Ads account, I've now added the global site tag and I've added the event snippet to the page which signifies a conversion. So the next thing to do is simply click next, and this is now going to tell you that you've set up conversion tracking. So let's go ahead and click done, and it will take you to an overview page of all the conversions you have. So at the moment I have one conversion, which is submit lead form. You can rename this or set it up differently when you first create your conversion, just to make it a bit more detailed. So I could say lead form, and I can put something like this, contact page lead form. So now whenever I get a conversion, I know exactly what page that came from, which was my contact page, and it was a lead form. If I have other contact forms on my website, I could have pricing page lead form, I could have service page lead form, I could have home page lead form. And as you can imagine, this will make it super easy and super organized for you when it comes to reviewing what pages on your website are generating the most conversions from your Google Ads. This stuff is super, super powerful. The last thing I wanted to go over is going to be your tracking status. So at the moment it says unverified. It can take up to 3 hours for Google to actually verify that you have set up the tag properly. So don't worry about that for now. Simply just come back to this page in a few hours and it will be updated and sorted out. So now this brings this video to an end. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you can set up conversion tracking to track phone calls. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up conversion tracking for phone calls. So to track conversions from phone calls, what you simply need to do is go to the top of your Google Ads account, and then under measurement, you want to go ahead and click conversions. So the same process as you kind of follow to create a website conversion. So once you're on this page, you can see actually our old conversion right here for websites. It's now updated the tracking status to no recent conversions, which if you remember from the last video, it actually said unverified. However, that is now verified and is tracking our conversions, which is really good. But anyway, moving on, I digress. To track your phone call conversions, what you need to do is hit the plus icon. And then when you're on this page that we saw before, what you need to do is go for the third option, which is phone calls. So track calls from your ads or website. So let's go ahead and give this a click. Now we have 3 different options, which is calls from ads, call extensions, or call only ads. We have calls to a phone number on your website, clicks on your number on your mobile website. Now to use the bottom 2 options, we need to add some code and a tag to our website. So we're going to go for the top option, which is used 99% of the time, which is tracking calls from call extensions and call only ads. So the call extension is what we created in the last section of the course, and call only ads we have covered a little bit, so we're going to go through that in a bit more detail now, and I'll show you exactly how you can set up a call only ad. So let's go for the top option, calls from ads using call extensions or call only ads, and let's click continue. And this is going to load the page where we can configure what our call action is going to be. So first things first, let's put in our conversion name. So it's really important to note that whenever I track conversions from phone calls, I like to make sure that is clear in the conversion name. So what I'm simply going to do is name this conversion calls from ads like so. The value, again, if you don't know the value of a call for your business, then you're better off ticking the second option and saying do not use a value for this conversion action. However, if you do have the data on your business, like in my last example, you convert 1 in 10 and the average person spends $1,000, then you can obviously go ahead and put in $100 for your conversion value. However, for now, I'm going to leave this at the second option, do not use a value for this conversion action. Now for count, you're going to want to go for the second option, 1, as 1 phone call should count as 1 conversion. For call length, now again, this all comes down to preference. So enter the minimum length a call needs to last to count as a conversion. Some clients we work with say they want this to be at 3 minutes, which would be 180 seconds. Some other clients say it can be just 60 seconds. So it all comes down to you. I like to go for 60 seconds, so 1 minute, as a minute is a pretty good amount of time to determine whether that is a quality lead. However, depending on what you sell and how your business operates, a minute may not be nowhere near enough time. So this comes down to your preference and ultimately what you are selling. For the click-through conversion window, I leave this at 30 days as usual. Include in conversions, yes, I want to make sure that shows in my data overview in my Google dashboard. Attribution model, I always leave at last click. So once you've done that, go ahead and click create and continue. And then that is you basically done. So let's go ahead and click done. This will now take you back to your overview page of all of your conversions. So now we've created a conversion action, which is going to track all phone calls generated from our call extensions. Now let me go back one and show you exactly how you can create a call only ad. So this is an ad where the ultimate goal is to generate a phone call and the visitor cannot click a link to go over to your website. So to create a call only ad, what you need to do is go over to campaigns and then click the blue plus icon to create a new campaign. Let's go for a new campaign like so. And once the page loads, we want to go for leads and then make sure we have search as a call only campaign comes under a search campaign. So select the ways you'd like to reach your goal. So as we're focused on phone calls is going to be the main option we want right here. The next option is to enter our phone number. So again, just for the purpose of this training video, I'm going to copy the number that Google actually give you. So Control C and then Control V to paste that number like so. I'm going to go ahead and click continue and then go through the same steps we've been through before, which is setting up the campaign. So the campaign name for this, I'm going to call only because it's a call only campaign, and I'll simply give this the name domestic fans like so. We can go into show more settings and create a schedule and so on, but for now I won't do that. We're going to target London just for now. It's absolutely fine. So of course, when you set this up, you'd make sure you make this custom to your business, which is probably going to be the same settings as you use for your standard search campaign anyway, the one that covers all of your standard ads. We're going to scroll down to audiences, bidding. Again, we're just going to put in £3 for now. Bidding, what do you want to focus on? Conversions, clicks, impression shares. Again, we've covered this in a lot of detail already. However, I'll go to bid strategy directly and I'll just go for manual CPC for now. Then I'm going to scroll down and click save and continue. And this is where I need to create my ad group and now add my keywords. Again, all like we've done before. So just for the purpose of the training video, I'm just going to give this a name, call only ceiling fans. This will do for now. Default bid, let's do £3, enter my keywords. I'll just put in ceiling fan, then I'll put in modern ceiling fans, and I'll just make these phrase match keywords. Again, the purpose of this training video isn't to show you how to set up a Google Ads account, it's to show you how we actually create a call only ad. So let's just go ahead and click save, continue for now, just so I can show you exactly what it looks like. So this is the page that I was trying to get to. So this is what a call only ad looks like. So as you can see, we've got a phone icon like so. Once you click that on a mobile device, it's going to trigger the click to call feature on your phone. So when it comes to filling out this call only ad, there are a few of the same features. So your final URL. Now, like I said, when people click this ad, they aren't going to land on any URL whatsoever. However, to improve your quality score, which hopefully by now you know is super, super important, you definitely want to try and include the keyword in your final URL as well. So as this call only ad is targeting the keyword ceiling fans, I'm going to want to make sure that I have that keyword in my final URL. So what I'm going to do is simply go ahead and put in website.com and I'll put in ceiling fans like so. It's going to say it's a fake URL, but essentially I can do website 1234. That should be okay. What is the problem with this? To ensure customers' information is corrected, use HTTPS. Okay, fine, we'll do that. HTTPS. Like so, there we go, website 1234, I can probably take that bit off. Website.com/ceiling fans, verification URL, again, it's just the same URL above. Display path, again, I want to try and get my keywords in there, so I'll put ceiling fans. I could even put the word modern in there, because I'm pretty sure I added another keyword for modern. So I can go ahead and put modern. So as you can see, I'm trying my best to get all the keywords in there, just so I get the highest quality score possible. So headline 1 and 2, let's go ahead and fill that in now. I'm going to go for keep cool with our ceiling fans. Oh, 1 over. Take off the S. Keep cool with our ceiling fans. I mean, fans would be better. Keep cool with our ceiling fan. Fan would be fine. Keep cool with our ceiling fan. Headline 2. I'll say order today over the phone. Remember, this is a call only ad, so I'm trying to tailor my text to the person on a mobile device. The next option is business name, so you'd put in your business name, and if you remember, we're going for the website called HSD Online, so I put in HSD online like so. Then I'll give a description of the ceiling fans, powerful, reliable, low energy, energy efficient, all those types of words that people want to see when they're making a purchase for these type of products. So for now, I'm just going to quickly get on the keyboard just so I can cover another important element. Again, just ignore this. Please don't do this when it comes to your ad. It's not going to do you any good whatsoever. It says call reporting is turned on. So again, this is really important. This is going to allow us to be able to track the phone calls we're generating from our ads. And once you filled in your description, a lot better than mine, you're going to go ahead, click save and continue. And this is going to create your call only ad. So it's really that simple. It gives you a summary of what's actually going on. You've got your CPC, your bid strategy, your campaign goal, which is to get more leads, your budget, the location you're targeting, the language, and so on and so on. So next thing to do is click continue to campaign. And now it's going to show you your overview of your campaign, which is the ad group and all the keywords within it you've targeted, which for me is only going to be these 2 keywords like so. So what I'm going to do is just go back to my campaigns and quickly pause this campaign before it starts to run and I start spending some money, which you can see has actually happened for my first campaign already. I've had 15 impressions, but luckily no one has clicked the ad, so I haven't spent a penny. Got away with that one right there. So a good learning lesson for you people as well. So now you're probably wondering, great. So you set up conversion tracking to track phone calls, but we've also got our phone call listing in a call extension, and now we have a call only ad as well. So how can we tell where our calls are coming from? Good question. If you go over to your tools settings and go back to your conversions, you're only going to notice that you have one section for calls from ad, which is the one we set up earlier. Now, if you generate 5 calls from your call only campaign and then generate another 2 calls from your call extensions, so 7 calls in total, it's simply going to show you 7 here in total. 7 conversions signifies 7 calls. However, on this page, you can't actually dive in and dig into the detail to see where those calls come from. So if you would like to see that data, which I highly recommend as it will allow you to optimize your account a little bit better, what you need to do is go back to your main Google Ads account and then go over to campaigns and then go over to segment like so. Under segment, you want to go for conversions and then click conversion action. So this will show you what campaigns in particular has generated those particular phone calls. Now do bear in mind, I actually don't have that set up as my campaigns haven't generated any calls yet, but if you did, then that is how you would see that data. Now one more thing I just want to highlight before this video comes to an end is that sometimes people are going to click your call only ad and trigger the call feature, but they aren't going to go ahead and actually click call on their mobile phone to start the actual phone call. So sometimes you might review your data and it might say you had 10 clicks, but only 2 calls. What that means is your ad got clicked 10 times, but only 2 people actually went through with the phone call. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to Google Ads, you pay for every time someone clicks your ad and not for every time someone actually connects to you on the phone. So if you do have 10 clicks, you're going to pay your average CPC times 10 as you had 10 clicks, and not just twice based on the amount of people you actually spoke to, it's going to be based on total clicks. This is why sometimes you can see a difference between the amount of clicks you've generated in comparison to the amount of phone calls. So that brings us to the end of this section of the course when it comes to conversion tracking. I hope you found it valuable. Conversion tracking is super important and will allow you to see how profitable your Google campaigns are. I'll see you in the next section of the course where we're going to walk you through some of the steps you can use when it comes to optimizing your account to ensure your ads are performing in the most efficient way possible. I'll see you in the next section of the course and thank you for making it this far into the course with me.